Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Discriminating Gamer. Say, did you see that someone put all of their John Lennon memorabilia up on eBay? Imagine all the PayPal. Ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to go ahead and take a look at the DC Comics deck building game Rivals for Shazam versus Black Adam. We'll get back to the review in just a moment. I want to take a minute to ask you to check out my other channel, that is Cody Carlson, PhD, where we talk about history, books on history, military history. I even post some of my lectures for my classes on there. Please check that out. Please subscribe to that channel. And now, back to the review. In the DC Comics deck building game Rivals 4, Shazam versus Black Adam, two players take on the roles of Shazam and Black Adam as they attempt to defeat the 3 cards of their opponent and claim victory. Now, this is not terribly different from the other Rivals games we have seen. Essentially, of course, you have the lineup, you have weakness cards, and you have kind of the kick versions of this card. I think it's a secret word or whatever. You have those there, and then, of course, the lineup. Now, you also have, of course, your starter cards, 3 vulnerabilities, and 7 punches. You have your oversized superhero cards. You have 3 of them. You have the 9, the 12, and the 15, each with their own specific abilities. The object of the game is to accrue enough power to engage in a confrontation against your opponent. You can either buy with your cards or you can engage in a confrontation. You can't do both. And if you engage in the confrontation, you're trying to get enough power to defeat, like a 9, a 12, or a 15. But your opponent, if they have block cards, they can play block cards to try to block some of that power getting through. This is, again, very similar to the other rival sets we've seen here. Now, there are a few minor new additions here, differences from this set from the previous sets. First of all, the weakness cards here are a little bit different. If you get a weakness card, you must play it. It's the first card you must play from your hand, and what it does is it goes down next to your hero card, and it has a persistent ongoing ability, and that is it gives a -1 to your defense value of your hero. So if you have a weakness, instead of a 9, it would go down to an 8. If you get 2 weaknesses, it goes down to a 7, etc., etc. So it makes it easier for your enemy to try to take you out with those weakness cards there in front of you. Now, once your hero is defeated, any weakness cards that are out there go away. They go back to the weakness deck. If you end the game with a deck running out, if you have any weakness cards in front of you, they contribute a -1 victory point to your victory total. Next, some cards have a when you gain this ability. Typically, it's a when you gain this, gain a weakness. So this is a yellow stripe across the card. If you decide you want to buy that card, great, but you're getting a weakness with it. And finally, some of your oversized hero cards have a payment ability. Essentially, it will say discard a punch card or discard that in order to do its special ability. So you have to pay in order to do those actions. So players are going back and forth. They're playing cards. They're buying cards from the lineup. They are dealing with the weaknesses. They are engaging in confrontations, trying to take down their enemies. They are blocking some of those confrontation abilities to prevent the power from getting through. And they're trying to capture their enemies' oversized playing cards.
Now, if ever one player succeeds in defeating all 3 of his opponent's cards, he instantly wins. Otherwise, if the main deck ever runs out, you ever need to refill the lineup, and there's no cards in the main deck to put them out there, then you end the game. You total up the VPs of all the cards you have in your hand, your discard pile, etc., etc., and whoever has the most points wins. The DC Comics deck building game, Rivals, Shazam versus Black Adam. So, of course, I'm a big fan of the DC Comics deck building game, and I got this as part of the Kickstarter with the Justice League Dark set. And I really like Rivals. I think it's a fun, quick 2-player way to play the DC Comics deck building game. All things being equal, I think I prefer playing the bigger games. Even sometimes as a 2-player, I prefer playing some of the bigger games. But I do like the speed and this. I do like the battle that you get with the confrontations in these Rivals sets. They're always fun. I would never turn my nose up at playing a Rivals game. I think they're great. But there are 4 of them now, and they're all kind of samey. They all bring certain keywords and other little things to it, and they're cool and they're fun. But honestly, I don't know that you need them all. I think, now I'm a completist. I'm collecting them. I've got them all. But if you're just for a more casual gamer, I think really what's going to appeal to you is which heroes and villains do you enjoy playing with. The first one was Batman versus the Joker. Then you had Green Lantern and Sinestro. Then Flash and Reverse Flash, and now Shazam and Black Adam. They're all great, but which heroes do you like the most? I suspect most people would say Batman and the Joker. That's still probably my favorite of the Rival set. But this one is a lot of fun. I had a good time with it. I would certainly happily recommend it. It's going to go into my collection. And I do like the weakness abilities, how they go out in front of you and how they give that ongoing -1 to your total. It does make trying to get the other guys, try to have a confrontation and defeat the other guy a little bit easier at times. And I will say there are some great card combos in this version. There are some really fun things you can do with your oversized cards and how you're playing them. Of course, any deck builder, the thing that really makes you happy are the combos. How well can your cards play off of each other? And when you get into those grooves, it is so much fun. This game, like all the DC Comics deck building games, does it amazingly. So recommendation for the DC Comics deck building game Rivals 4 Shazam vs. Black Adam is buy it. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us today on The Discriminating Gamer. As always, I ask you to please leave a comment for us on YouTube, on Board Game Geek, on our Facebook page, or on thediscriminatinggamer.com. I'd ask you to please like us on Facebook, subscribe to us on YouTube, and follow us on Twitter. I'd also ask you, ladies and gentlemen, to please check out my other channel, that is Cody Carlson, PhD, where we talk about military history and books on history, fun things like that. I'd ask you to go ahead and subscribe to that channel. It would mean a lot to me. I would ask you to click on this video, give us a thumb on Board Game Geek. And if you really do like the content we bring you here, I would humbly ask you to click on the Super Thanks button and leave a tip. Ladies and gentlemen, I just couldn't work for my boss after what he said to me. You're fired. Please somebody help me on my feet again. And I don't know where I'm going, and I don't know where I've been. Please somebody help me on the solid ground. It's a long time, and I'll be dying. Once a year I wind up in the band. Ladies and gentlemen, sometimes when I'm playing a game, I like to... Oh, sorry. Hello?
Get out of the board game market, kid! It's tanking! It's tanking fast!
Oh, no.
My mistake, kid. It's the getting kicked in the nods industry that went belly up. Board games are doing great. Keep buying.